What's up, Leo? How's it going, guys? I'm Chris. Welcome to your reading for the full moon in Gemini. So, full moon in Gemini, guys. Like, Leo and Gemini energy vibes, like, real well, right? Like, I think we have that thing in common, Gemini. We have that thing in common where we kind of like to be expressive, right? To kind of like show ourselves a little bit, right? We're very like out there, kind of open spotlight kind of signs. So with this full moon in Gemini, guys, like first card out, we have the Three of Wands, right? Like I like this, like looking towards the future, like ambition, like what you're gonna be getting, Leo, like what your lion ass is gonna be hunting down, lion, not lying, maybe that too. We'll see. But lion ass is gonna be hunting down and capturing, right? Like in the springtime, like especially in the summer, right? So what I was saying is that like with this Gemini energy, we're looking at like communication and relationships and connections and like energy and where you're putting that energy and how you're like expressing that energy, right? And then while we also have the full moon in Gemini, we have Mercury going retrograde. Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini, right? So while we have all this like great Mercury energy, like all like oiled up, ready to go, ready to be social, ready to put yourself out there, we also have this like retrograde, like gotcha bitch, like not gonna happen like that, right? Like not gonna happen any way you think it's gonna happen. High Priestess. It's same card thing we got for the Gemini reading. Three of Pentacles, Princess of Cups, Eight of Cups. All right, Leo. So starting off here with the Three of Wands, like this I think is like Leo looking to the future, right? Because right now when we're talking about like this full moon, we're talking about like what Leo is creating and how what that like fiery energy that you're using to create things, where that's going, right? So like right now, I think that you guys like are brewing up big plans, right? Like this is sort of like Leo preparing yourselves to like make your big stage debut like in a few months or maybe like I keep feeling like summertime like in your season, right? Like we have the sun in Aries represented in this card, so we could be talking about like springtime, like things starting to roll. But I think that this is showing like the Three of Wands is very like about dreams and future and like visions and like looking for like what's to come in your life, right? Right underneath that we have the High Priestess, right? Like the ruler of like reflection and introspection and like going deep and meditating. So while we're talking about this retrograde energy, even though it's a little like frustrating, like you want to put yourself out there, you want to just like razzle dazzle everybody like with your Leo jazz hands, like you might have some difficulties like expressing that with this retrograde. So like the High Priestess is a great indication of like it's time to just like reflect. Like with the Three of Pentacles, we're talking about what we're creating, Leo, and like how what you create like expresses who you are. And right now, like this is Leo like building that vision, building that ambition, and then like we're gonna see you guys like in the next few weeks, like almost like figuring out how to execute it, right? So like if you, I feel like there's a lot of ways things could have been in the works for you right now, Leo. But if you've had something in the works, like say with it could be literally performing, or if we're talking about career, or we're talking about like just any big like dramatic like move or shift, I feel like that's coming for you guys in the next few months. But especially in this moon cycle, like this is where like plans start to get made. But we're probably looking mostly at like the end of the month, right? Because we have all this like big scatter energy in the beginning. So like maybe in the beginning it's a good time to like do this. Like I think this is why this came for Gemini too, because it's about like reflection. It's about planning, right? It's about like figuring out like what this is gonna look like when you're ready to bring it into being, right? And Leo, I think it's also time to have a little fun. Like with the Princess of Cups, what I'm getting here is like this reminds me of Angelina Jolie said it, but I'm pretty sure plenty of people said it about like what makes an artist's life, like one of the best skills they can have or one of the best things they can do for their art is to like live their life, right? Because that's where you're going to get your stories. That's where you're going to get your inspirations. That's where you're going to get like characters or like, just experiences that fuel your creativity, right? And that's what the Princess of Cups is saying to me right now. Like, as much as this is a period of like reflecting and thinking, it's also kind of like a time to like let loose a little and have a little fun, right? So like not take everything so seriously, right? Like you guys have a flair for the dramatic, but like right now it's saying like be like teenage girl dramatic, like just like loose and ready to have fun and like making stupid shit important just because it's like lighthearted and like nothing matters because you're 16 and like you don't have real problems. So like like be dramatic in that way right now, Leo. Don't be like heavy, right? Like we have the 8 of Cups right next to this, right? This is like 8 of Cups is about letting go of burdens, of like emotional baggage, right? So like during the Mercury retrograde, like things from your past are probably going to come up. Maybe even like first loves, you know? I make that face because I have a Venus. My Venus is in Leo, and like I really don't want that to happen. But like whenever these things do happen, it is about like lessons being learned, right? It's about like movement, right? It's about progress, always, right? So if this does happen, like where like say an old lover comes into the picture, like this would have been someone you dated when you were like younger, or at least like you felt younger, like maybe you've grown a lot since. If they come into this picture, Leo, in the next few weeks, like I want to say it's okay to like enjoy the feelings and have a little fun, but like remember that this shit is in the past, right? And remember like what you're building towards is something that's so much greater, right? It's like it's your true vision. That's what I feel like this is for Leo. Is like you guys getting in touch right now with like your true vision. With the 3 of Wands, also like this is Leo like expressing yourself through how you live your life. Like Leo is very much about like being out in the open and like showy a little bit, but like showing who you are, creating like a brand, an image, a reputation, right? And that's what I see for Leo with this moon cycle, right? Because we're also talking about a full moon to a new moon cycle. We'll have the new moon in Sagittarius later in the month, right? So when we're waning, when the moon is waning, we're taking advantage of this like big energy right now to like make plans, but we're also like taking a step back from things, right? Like planning, like dealing with things, like healing maybe some emotional wounds, right? Like retrogrades have a way of doing that, of like things that you think you were done with, like whoa, ta-da, I'm back, bitch, and then it's like one of those like movies where or TV shows where like the ex who you thought was dead appears at the end and there's this big like dramatic moment like that like feeling could be here, Leo, but like it's teaching you something, right? It's gonna feel maybe a little dramatic, but like it's about teaching you something about like moving forward, right? So I'm taking reverse a little bit lately, but so let's look at this, right? As 2 paths, we have the Queen of Wands and we have the 10 of Pentacles, and I'm gonna say reverse. We'll look at it the other way. I usually don't read this, but like let's say reverse for now. This kind of makes sense to me, like what we're talking about with like the future, right? Like in one path, here's Leo like empowered, right? Like the Queen of Wands, like she is someone who's like so self assured in who she is, right? And like relating that to like everything we're talking about here, Leo, like this is the end point where like that person you are and that vision you created like is starting to shine, right? Like what started here like is expressing itself, like in the fire of her wand and like the fierceness of this like cat that's with her, the sunflowers, like it's showing, it's brilliant, it's like that Leo dazzly like I'm gonna show off and like show off who I am kind of energy, right? On the other side you have the 10 of Pentacles, like again it's funny because we're talking about exes and I'll read this reverse, like this is a good reminder, Leo, like if someone does come back into your life and you get like the warm fuzzies, like This is sort of to me right now like, yo, that shit ended for a reason though. You know what I mean? Like, it feels good, but like, don't you remember like what living in this was like? This like upside down Ten of Pentacles world where like you should have all this security and love and happiness, but like and contentment, and what do you have? Like messiness. Like like a house in discord. No security, right? Like how much better, Leo, to stand like on your own, like strong and firmly than like to be with somebody like this. Like do you want that? Like remember like she's the princess, right? This if this does happen to you guys, like this is when you were young, right? Like that's why I said first love. It doesn't have to necessarily be a first love, but like a young relationship, right? And even if this person like literally doesn't come back into your world, I feel like there's still an emphasis on healing, right? On like doing the work to like address like your wounds, right? Because that's what I'm feeling with these cards is like kind of nursing of a wound, of an emotional like wound that happened, right? With the High Priestess and the Princess of Cups. And then to top that off, we have the Eight of Cups, which is just like suggesting even more strongly that like this was a heavy thing to you that had to be walked away from, that had to be kind of cut out, that needed to be healed, right? And how do we heal right now, Leo? Is like looking towards the future, looking towards creating the future. And the threes are like stability, they're like structure, they're things taking form. So this is like the start of a new life. This is like saying like fuck that old life. Like we got promise. We have potential. Like even if this is upright, like still it's like that old life. Compared to the energy over here, there's these this three energy of like growth and building, like this is like old news. Get out of here. Like that shit feels good sometimes, but like does it? Not really, right? Like whatever it is, Leo, in your past, if you're not like feeling a lover particularly, I do think for most people with your sign, like that's what's going to be happening. But like even if it's not a lover, like this could be like a friend who hurt you, you know? Like it's important to like look at wounds that you carried from like all different walks of life. Like maybe a parent hurt you and like I mean everyone gets hurt by everybody, but like it's about the things that are sticking with you, right? And the things that are standing in your way of growth and standing in your way of like your future vision, right? Like the insecurities, the things that make you like really feel vulnerable, right? Because we are talking about Gemini and like networks, and it's important right now to pay attention to like not only the connections you had with the retrograde, but like the connections that you currently are investing in. I like it. All right. Eight of Wands upright, guys. Like this is really good. Like since we're talking about, I say upright because it came up reversed for Cancer yesterday, which made sense for the retrograde, right? But like to see this combined with like the Princess of Pentacles and like strength, like as your outcome cards, like this is really good. This is like fast movement. This is like Leo manifesting their goals, right? Like this is Leo like communicating themselves clearly, right? Like getting in their head what they're going for here, right? So now as the Princess of Pentacles, like we're not talking about like being stuck in your emotional state anymore. We're talking about like starting over new in like a real like physical way. Like she's the princess of Earth, of the material world, of business, of home life, you know, those kinds of things. So sorry, I just got a comment on my phone on my videos that my shirt looked a little tight. It was. Anyway, sorry. I mean, Leo, like, you get it, right? Like, you can brag a little bit. Because the dude also said it looked like I've been working out. That's why I got all, like, giggly and blushy. Like, and then we have strength. Like, your card, Leo. Like, you, like, with all these things together, like, what we've been talking about, like, owning your identity and owning, like, your life and what that shows about, like, who you are, and then to get, like, your card in the outcome. This just to me is, like, Leo embodying their best. Leo being at their best, right? Like, Leo really having a firm hold on who they are and like what they want and what they're about, right? Like that shit's gonna radiate from you, Leo, because you know what it's about. Also, that button thing, if this is a little unbuttoned, it's because it looked stupid yesterday. It's so tight. Anyway, I just need new clothes, maybe. Anyway, Leo, coming out on top, coming out in control, on fire. Like, I love these. We're going to show the cards at the end, but I love the way these outcome cards look together. Like, so cool. Bottom of the deck, Seven of Wands. Like, this is you guys, like, owning your shit. We have Mars in your sign, right? Like, being, like, just on top of it. Like, no one can touch you. Like, this guy can't, like, none of those wands are even getting close. He's got the energy, he's got the skill, he's got the upper hand to, like, take them on. To, like, take on the wands that showed up here. To, like, really take a hold, right? Of, like, what it is you want to create and, like, making it happen. Like, taking the first steps, like, in the next few weeks. And then we have the Four of Wands. I'm not peace and like harmony and like success. And the Moon, like maybe some dark shit you have to deal with, maybe some lonely times, but like again, like with that High Priestess energy, it's kind of about like getting into like yourself and like who you are and like recognizing that you're like both the wolf and the dog sometimes, like right, those are both your natures, and like bringing them together, and with the threes it's like we get a new version of who you are, right? Like assimilating the past, Leo, like healing from it, like letting it like instruct you and like taking the wisdom and the guidance from what your experiences were. Right? So really promising, like considering that things are kind of like fucked hearted at the beginning of the month, like with the retrograde and everything, like Leo, like you guys are showing a lot of promise. Like everything here is just about like moving forward, but like think about the implication, right? Like when we're talking about healing, right? It means that maybe you've been like not feeling great. Like I almost want to. I don't know where it came from. Like the idea of just like love came into my head. Like maybe things in love. I mean, they're not easy for anybody, right? But I feel like maybe there's a distinct like situation or two that you could think of, Leo, in the past few weeks even, that have kind of like hurt, and maybe that's like why this person is on your mind again. You know how like whenever like something goes wrong in love, you like think about shit and like think about all the other things that went wrong, and maybe I should have not left her, maybe I should have not left him. I don't know. First card up, Wild Woman. She's coming up for everybody so far. So I really think like we have this difficult energy right now, but at the end of the month we have Saturn moving into Capricorn, and then we also have the new moon in Sagittarius. And I was kind of bummed because like I really wanted to have fun in Sag season, and like all this like retrograde shit is like kind of bumming me out, but like I really feel like by the end this is where everyone's going to be like ready to bring in the new year with like some fun. Right? Like I was kind of like hoping 2017 would just go the fuck away and like we can move on with our lives, and like kind of annoying that like there's this one little like last push, but I feel like that's what it is, guys. It's like a push forward. It's like a push into something new, right? Like we have the desert, like we've been resilient for so long. Leo has been like strong, has been tough, but like these two cards together, it's a different kind of strength, right? It's almost like having to like really hunker down and pull yourself up by the bootstraps and like really like go on that ramen budget to survive. You know what I mean? And this might also mean that those skills are going to come into play for you guys. Like you are going to have to still know how to survive and be tough and like tap into that like ability to just like make shit happen no matter what, like that Leo creative energy, but like on another level. You know, like it's not about like this level of like roughing it, but like you're at this level now, so like maybe you have to rough it, but like in a way different way than you used to have to. Because like what you're going for is so much better. It's not just survival, it's like next level thriving. And kinship. Like what I was saying before about your connections, Leo, about who you're giving your energy to, who you're investing your time in. It's really important for you to look at that. Like, look at who makes you strong, look at who takes from you, right? Like, look who makes you feel like liberated. Like, these cards up together, like, this is just like Leo ready to like kill it, like, ready to just go for it, right? Kind of ironic that right after that we have this really like these wild cards and then like this card of like kind of taming that energy, but that's how you manifest, right? You take like this wild energy and then you like make it corporeal, like material, right? All right, so Leo, so we're gonna take a quick look at the cards here, um and yeah. All right, Leo, so we see we got like we start with this vision, and like I just want to call attention right next to it with the Queen of Wands. Like this is where the vision starts to become embodied and empowered. Like this shows me like you making it real, like you taking that drive and like moving swiftly and like using like your presence and your words and your ability to make like connections to people and like bringing that all into reality to like really become this person who can kind of just manifest anything, right? And like we have the 10 of Pentacles here, and you know, not necessarily bad, but just like familiar and stale, right? When look at all this energy we have here, this is like very transformational to me, this bottom row, right? Like very much about like going deep and healing, but also having fun, right? Like we talked about having fun with these cards. Like don't get too dramatic in the wrong way. Like have a nice little flair for the dramatic, everyone loves you for it, but you know, like the real drama, like that has to be walked away from, right? And like there's promise of like what you want to create and who you want to be and like what you want your life to look like, right? And right now you have this like young youthful energy that's driving you forward, and like people in your life are just making it easier. Like your network is going to be really important, right? So like even if nothing comes of your network like in the next 2 weeks, because that's not that much time, like at least consider like who's part of it, who shouldn't be, and who should maybe be more of it, right? And then you're ready to go. You're ready to get wild and like just let loose and make shit happen. Okay, Leo, so good reading, guys. Like I'm very encouraged for like where this full moon is taking you. Like for a lot of the signs, it's a lot about you know, like hunkering down now, but with you especially there's just this big show of promise, right? So in the description, having a holiday sale for my new private readings. Right now, private readings are going to be $20 for a half hour and $45 for an hour. And those are going to be limited supply. It's kind of a holiday sale to like, kick off the channel and, you know, like do something fun for the holidays. So if you're interested in one of those, the link is below. Follow me on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, guys. And you know, Leo, like I think you're killing it, and I think you're gonna be great. And like I just want to be like raw, Leo, like like you're like a big cat right now, where you're just like laying around a little bit and needing to like languish and but like once you're ready, you're gonna be getting up and you're gonna be going, right? Like you're gonna be going, going, gone. And with that, I am gone. Good night, Leo. I'll see you in a few weeks.